Hey, welcome to another exciting episode of the My GBC podcast, everyone. We are thrilled to have you join us on this journey of exploration and discovery as we dive into the vibrant world of our college's orientation programming and campus days today. So we have a treat in store for you. We have two incredible student ambassadors from the orientation team who will be joining us right now to share all the insider details about the upcoming events and activities that we have planned for the orientation. So let's get started and uncover what awaits us in the orientation and campus days. So welcome, Shovik and Rubia. How are you doing?
Hello, Penta. Thank you very much for inviting us for this session. It's definitely a pleasure to be here and speak about the orientation at GBC. My name is Rubia Viana. As mentioned, I am an orientation ambassador for the Student Life team, but also an international student from Brazil, about to return during the fall to my third semester on the B126 project management program.
Amazing. It's very nice to have you here. And yeah, I'm very excited to see what you have to tell us. And we also have Shovik with us. Shovik, do you want to introduce yourself as well?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Panta. It's always so great to be at forums like these and speak to the larger community of GBC. So my name is Shovik Dasgupta, and just like Rubia, I'm an orientation ambassador here at GBC as well. I am a second semester student of Center for Business, and I'm studying strategic relationship marketing. Like I said, this is my second semester, and I have my fall co-op coming up in the next semester. So really looking forward to that. And yeah, looking forward to a great conversation today.
Amazing. Yeah. Thank you both again. So let's start with this. We all know that orientation is definitely an essential part of a student's college experience. So what are the main goals and objectives of George Brown's orientation program? What do you think are the main goals?
So, Penta, I can go ahead and try to answer this question to you. So, to make it clear, orientation isn't just one event here at GBC, but also it's a process like to help students up to success. So that can include their academic orientations, campus days events, pre-orientation programming, or like even workshops that continue like throughout the semester that we host in our team as well. So from like the objectives of George Brown orientation program, I feel like the hope it's to students to get out of with more confidence about their choices to attend like our institution, feel connected to the GBC community, like recognizing that the school is diverse and inclusive with different specifics to help like different groups to succeed as well. And understand campus services, resources, college policies and procedures. And obviously, we hope all of them have fun, be excited to start their journey, including like the engagement with the community and develop new and meaningful relationship with other students, staff, and faculty. It's definitely a great opportunity to connect, network, and my find friends for life.
Amazing. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Like it's something that you can't really explain it in like one or two sentences. Like there's so much going on that you actually have to go there and see what's going on. But yeah, so how about Shovik? Do you have anything to add?
Oh, yes. I mean, just to add to what Rubia said, the most important thing is that orientation is just not one event. It's a series of events, be it online, in-person activities. And the whole intention of the orientation team and the other department services is that students get the best of experience when they come in. They feel a sense of belonging to the college, the sense of community. And we're here to help. We do a lot of workshops. We do a lot of in-person events. Obviously, the orientation campus days being the first of those events. And the idea is to make people feel comfortable and to find their own comfort zone in the college. And that's the whole approach of our team. So yeah, that's what the campus days are all about.
Yeah, so basically, in summary, go see it. We can't describe it. I guess that's the best way to put it. Yeah, but also I'm going to mention that campus days are technically kind of similar to orientation, except that orientation, like you go see the campus, but also there are going to be online events. So just want to clarify that. So hopefully that's not confusing for anyone. But besides that, you both mentioned that there are going to be tours. So what types of tours will be offered during the orientation day, and how can they help incoming students get acquainted and learn what's going on campus?
Sure. I mean, campus days and the campus tour specifically can seem to be chaotic for a new student. Yes, it's overwhelming because there are a lot of things happening within the campus, but it's very easy. We have volunteers and we have ambassadors like ourselves who are stationed at various locations to kind of help people navigate their way around on their first day and, explore the various sections of the campus, be it, the classes, the library, the athletic center, and those kind of things. But essentially, we also have planned campus tours in which the volunteers take a group of people and they take them throughout the campus and show them all the key locations and what they expected to do on their first day. And in certain technical programs, these tools also include, specific information about the labs or the workstation where they are supposed to be. So it's a detailed tour in which they go around the entire campus and see the key locations. And it's really essential, I feel, because it can get really chaotic on the first few days, and especially the campus is huge. So it's very easy to kind of have somebody show you around and tell you, which places to kind of look out for on your first day.
For sure. Yeah. And I think a fun fact that I wanted to mention is that, if you know the campuses very well, perhaps if you're like a student that you're like returning, you can actually get paid to become a tour leader. So that's an option. So go ahead and check GB Careers. I guess that's where they would be putting it. But it's a fun job, at least for like 3 days. You're just going around different campuses, showing people what's going on. So it could be fun for some people if they're interested. So yeah, besides that, I know that we have information sessions and workshops that are like always valuable for our new students. Can you give us a sneak peek into the topics and themes that are going to be covered in these sessions?
Right. So I will start it and I'll let Rubia continue. So there are two parts to these information sessions. The first few being when you actually come for the campus days, which is basically the starting of these events when the semester starts. We do a lot of workshops in person during these events as well. And one of them being how college works. Now, how college works is essentially a presentation or a workshop in which we, cover all aspects of college, like, how to reach out to different departments if you need any help, how to attend your classes, things like, online class etiquettes, how to send an email, what kind of GBC email etiquettes you should be having. So pretty much everything that you should know when you're starting your journey at GBC, when you're starting your classes. So that's the first part, which happens initially. And then as we move ahead, we have a lot of other informational and fun workshops, which kind of focus on strengthening the soft skills of students so that they can succeed throughout the semester and do really well, not just academically, but even otherwise. I'll let Rubia cover those things in detail, the kind of workshop that we do.
Amazing. Thank you, Shevik, for giving an introduction. So we cover like so many workshops that is to help students with their soft skills, like improve and enhancing. It's like time management, setting goals, teamwork. We have so many others. You definitely should check it out and see if you can participate. And it's a great way to network, to get to know other people, ask questions as well, not just about the session, but other questions that you might have about the college. And we have like our teams also runs like a session called How College Works, which help like students to understand how GBC works, whom to reach out for help, or what process they should be aware of so their time will be a little bit easier at school. So the next How College Works session will take place online on Wednesday, August 23rd at 12 p.m. So registration can be made through Eventbrite, and check our Instagram page. We're usually like post when the events are happening, the workshops that we're offering, and like a basic introduction what to expect on these workshops as well.
Amazing. And what is your Instagram handle? I mean, I know, but I want everyone else to know.
So our Instagram channel is gbc.orientation. That's where all the fun stuff happens. That's where we post all the upcoming events, a lot of workshops, and we also collaborate with other GBC accounts and do a lot of giveaways. So yeah, that's the channel to look out for. It's called gbc.orientation. And one more thing that I wanted to add about the session and the workshop that we just spoke about, that the good part about these sessions is that even if a student ends up missing 1 or 2 sessions, these workshops happen on a recurring basis throughout the semester. So there are enough and more opportunities to kind of attend these sessions and, do it whenever you want, whenever your, schedule permits. And yeah, and again, one more important thing about these sessions is that it's a great way to network with students and people beyond your program. Because in your classes, you only end up talking to a certain amount of people. But when you go to these sessions, you also get to meet people beyond your programs from other centers. And that is a really good thing to kind of know more people outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for bringing that up. I think it's very important to mention that the workshops are going to be going on during the semester as well. And you don't have to be like a new student to participate in these workshops. And I find that sometimes people get confused because just the team is called like the orientation team. They think it's just for the beginning of the school, but the workshops are ongoing and sometimes the topics change. So throughout your years, like it can be a 3rd-year student, or even like if you're doing a bachelor program, 4th-year student, and still participate in these workshops. So definitely take advantage of those. And yeah, the name is not really trying to say it's just for the start of the school. So besides that, I know personally because I've been there, but also you guys mentioned it. There are going to be giveaways, and I know everybody loves giveaways. So what kind of goodies and giveaways can students look
Yeah,
forward?
right. Panda, everybody loves giveaway, right? But I would
Course.
say that got to be a surprise for those who attend, especially during the campus days, right?
Yeah.
But just to give an overview, so nobody's gonna feel like, oh, we're missing something. But there will be a lot of GBC swags, and since you're part of the community, you can count on getting like a GBC Husks T-shirt, so you can use anytime, right? That's a very cool one. And again, make sure you show up and connect with all teams on campus. And trust us, there will be a lot of cool things happening, not just the giveaways, but activities, more opportunities to engage, to connect with others, especially if you're international students like me, like Shavik. It is a good way to like start building connections in a place that you maybe don't know anyone still, right? And you can get like another chips as well and get like a way to start college and be more excited.
Yeah, and not just that, but also other departments have their own giveaways. Like, for example, the athletic center gives out keychains and wristbands and those kind of fun stuff. So there's a lot of merchandise to collect, guys. So it's a must to come and check out all those counters.
Yeah, take your backpacks or a tote bag at least with you. You're gonna have to put a lot of stuff in it.
That's a good point. Yeah.
For sure. In addition to the engaging activities that we have, could you tell us about like the various services and supports that will be showcased during the orientation?
Sure. I think I can cover a few. Like I said, the campus orientation events is a great place to explore all the services and departments and what they have to offer to a new student. Some of them being, like the athletic center, the library, career services, the individual academic centers. So it's a great place to kind of meet these people, not just because you get to know what they have to offer, because as new students, you tend to have a lot of issues regarding how to attend classes or how to change a course. So there are lots of people who you can speak to about that. But it's also a great place to find part-time opportunities in college, because a lot of these departments, such as the library or career services, departments like us, orientation teams, we hire people from time to time. So it's a great place to kind of understand that as well and find out if there's a way you can actually work for the college. So these are the few centers that have their stalls and counters set up, which people can explore and talk to, and generally just understand the whole GBC community and understand how life at GBC is all about.
For sure. And I think it's also good to mention that if you are not actually able to, for any reason, attend any of these happening from August 29th to 31st again, each day in a different campus in our 3 campuses. We also have like the service fair that is happening like a couple of days. I'm not sure the exact day, but it's happening a couple of days after the orientation days. And that's a great way to also like familiarize yourself with the services and different supports that are available for you. It's not going to be as fun just because it's not orientation days anymore and campus days. So their fun activities are probably not going to be there as much, but still you can see the services and everything that is available to you. Also, you can meet faculty and staff. And, of course, meeting faculty and staff sometimes can be reassuring for our new students that are just starting school. What opportunities will students have to interact with the faculty and staff during the orientation day? Are they going to be there? Are they going to have like sessions? How is it going to be happening?
Right. So like I said before, you will have representatives and, people from all these departments and services to kind of tell you about how college life is and how you can be a part of the community. You will also have professors. You may not have all of the professors because, again, they have different schedules. From some of them are part-time faculty members, but you'll definitely get a chance to meet a program coordinator. Like I said, some of the technical programs have lab tours, so you can meet the lab technicians and the instructors and understand how things happen. So yes, you'll have a lot of time to kind of meet these people and understand what college life is all about.
Of course. And I think like the information sessions where like you actually get to like it's basically a day where you would see your program coordinator and some of your faculty. Is that happening in the same there, or is that sometimes a different day?
Yes. So yeah, so that happens around the same time. Normally, it happens in the morning, and how the campus days are scheduled is that they happen. They start sometime in the afternoon around 12:30. So normally, all the online orientation events, which is essentially a program coordination and the general welcome by your academic chair, those things happen in the morning, and that's when you get a chance to virtually meet your program coordinator and your future classmates and understand the academic nitty-gritties of the college. So yes, that is equally important, and the registration is already live on our website. So for people who haven't registered for those academic orientations, they must, because that's really critical, because you get to understand the details of programs, the grade structure, what kind of assignments are there, things like that. Would you like to add something to that, Rubia, if I've missed anything about academic orientations?
I think it was very well said, Shavik. You totally like introduced everything that people should be aware of and register for their academic orientation, not just participate like during campus days or service fairs, because their academic orientation will be a great way to introduce them to the courses and like an overview of what to expect throughout the semester.
For sure. Yeah. So just don't forget to register for your academic orientation. I guess for like the normal orientation, like campus days, there is a registration. I'm not sure, but you could go in person and just be there. But for the academic one, you have to register.
Yeah, for the campus days, you don't need to register. You can drop into any location. We highly recommend that you go to all three campuses, irrespective of which campus you are scheduled to, because it kind of elevates the whole experience. You get to meet more people, get to see all three campuses. But yeah, like I said, there is no specific registration required to attend those events. And you can also bring in your friends, your parents. Feel free to do that. It's a fun place. There's lots to explore. So yeah, bring in your relatives and family.
I would just like to remind there is registration through Eventbrite, which states like details, time, date. Does it sends like email reminders to you to like for those who register to say like, oh, it's gonna start like this day, just so you know. And during campus days, as we were saying, there will be tours, information sessions, workshops, games, giveaways, showcase of services, support. And as Shavik says, is a great way like to connect, be in other campus, know their facilities, because we have access to all of the campus, right? So make sure like to go and engage with these fun activities.
For sure. Yeah. Thank you for bringing it up. That's actually a very important part as well. And we are almost getting to the end of the questions that I have for you. I just have two more questions. The one before the last one is, how can students make the most out of their orientation experience? Do you have any tips and advice that you would give an incoming students that is just starting to maximize their day?
Sure, I can start. My only tip for new students who are attending the orientation and who are joining the GBC, the My GBC family, is that I totally get it that it can get overwhelming initially. There's so many things happening around you. There are classes, there are several orientation events, workshops. Try to attend as much as you can. It's okay if you miss out a couple of things. You obviously can't be everywhere at the same time, but try to be part of these events, because it fosters a sense of community, a sense of ownership, and it's a great place to be at GBC. So the more events you attend, the better your experience becomes, and try to attend things outside of your academic zone as well. It kind of elevates the whole experience while you're here at college. And secondly, network as much as you can at these events, especially at the orientation events. When you come in, meet people from your classroom, obviously from your program, but also meet other people from other courses, meet professors, staff members. It's good to know people, and these people are essentially going to help out eventually when you graduate, with referrals, recommendations, jobs. So it's good to know people. So put yourself out there and meet as many people as you can. So that's my suggestion.
Absolutely. Great tips. How about you, Rubia? Do you have any tips for our students?
Amazing. I think Shavik like summarized almost like everything I was expecting to say. But something I would like to add to what he said is try to make sure you understand what the services you have in the college, like tutoring center, peer mentor plus, things that you can actually connect with others, like to talk about it. As an international student, as it's very overwhelming, not just for us, but like someone that's just starting, just get out of high school or is starting again. So I would say try like to get familiarization, be part of the community, but know like that you have support available, that you can where to find it, things that you can do it and network. You might find friends for life, not just for your career setting, but people that you can get involved with. College time is a very good time. We know like throughout the semester things start getting very busy, and attend events that you can, try to go. It is fun. And as soon as you start, like, give the first step to go and don't be shy to go, you will see it's going to be much easier and you're going to be attending much and much and much more. Don't let it for the last minute, because time will definitely fly. And by the end, you're going to be like, oh, I'm already graduating. It seems like that 3 years is a lot, but it's not. It goes super fast. So my recommendation is try to attend the events, try to take a look for opportunities, not work, and know that you have support available as well.
That's so true. Time is gonna fly, so make the most of out of the everything that you can. For sure, that was a very great tip. And I think as a current student myself, if I have a say, I would suggest that when you're going there, you're gonna see like different services and different tables and stuff. Try to collect all of their Instagram IDs and handles, just because they're all going to post about the services and support that they offer on their Instagram accounts usually, and most of them do have Instagram accounts. So if you follow them, you can get a lot out of that. And if you can like see all the tables, when you follow someone on Instagram, like it gives you other suggestions, and like they're all called like GBC something probably. So yeah, try to follow everyone. And my last question as we wrap up. So do you both have like any personal highlights or favorite aspects of GBC that you could share with us? Like any personal memory that you really love about GBC or orientation?
My personal, I think the most favorite memory begins and is associated with the orientation events because, when I started off last year, that was kind of the COVID time. So our orientation was completely online. We didn't get to experience, the in-person events. It's a different thing. I got to experience these events as an ambassador later on. But I think the fact that I stress about network so much is because, the ambassadors at that time who did the event for us, I think I eventually met them when I came here, and I made it a point to personally meet them and, chat about my experiences. And although they have graduated now, they're not in the college anymore, but they're great friends. And even people who used to work with me earlier, Panda, you being one of them, we have worked together. So all of these guys were not probably in the college at the moment, but they're great friends outside of college. And I think that is one of my biggest takeaways and biggest memories of my time at GVC, because I have made such good friends, and I'm sure they will stay beyond the college. So I think that brings me back to the point that, make as many friends as you can, because that's the most important thing about life, make good connections.
For sure. And a fun fact is that, I wasn't around when this happened, but I've heard from other ambassadors that we worked with that when Shovik was having his orientation online, he apparently attended all the workshops and everything that was going on.
I did.
All the ambassadors knew him. So that's probably how he got this job, connections.
Yeah. And funny thing, I was in a different time zone. So I was in India at that time, and the orientations, and for India time, it used to be in the middle of the night, post midnight rather. So I used to actually stay awake to kind of meet people online and connect with all these guys. So yeah, it was crazy, but it was a lot of fun.
It was definitely worth it though. You got this job. You made all the connections. You have all these great friends. So definitely worth it.
Absolutely.
Amazing. How about you, Rubio? Do you have any memories, anything from GBC or orientation that you want to highlight?
I just wanted to add that I'm very impressed. Like, I know Shovik from this job, and of course he was attending and make the most of it. I'm sure he was. It's a great way he needs to give us tip like how he does, right? Yeah. But I feel like orientation is very important part of our academic journey. It is like, instead of just reading it for yourself, like everything that you can find on the website is a great way actually to be inserted, right? To get an overview, what's going on, how you feel the energy, you feel the spirit of the college when you are actually attending the orientation. And as Shovik said, it's a great way not just to network, as I said previously, to just for career or something else, but as to like make friends, right? There will be many opportunities to get together. I get to know about more the volunteer opportunities that we have at the college, and they promote not just volunteer opportunities, but social events so you can connect with other peers. And it's people from all around the world. Like, Toronto is very multicultural. And I feel like when we get to insert ourselves and try to attend these workshops and everything else, we kind of get to feel more comfortable, more willing to actually do more stuff, get engaged to the college, and be confident that that was the choice we were trying to make it.
Amazing. Yeah. And that concludes my discussions with the fantastic ambassadors from the orientation team. Thank you so much both for coming here. And I really appreciate that everything that you said. It was definitely very helpful for all of our students. And we hope you're all just as excited as we are for the upcoming orientation and campus days. From engaging tours and workshops to the thrill of making new connections with classmates, I honestly really think that this day is going to be very fun and unforgettable for all of our students. So don't forget to mark your calendars for August 29th to 31st, each day at one of our 3 campuses. And thank you for tuning in. And until next time, this is the My GBC podcast signing off.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.